My name is Kaylee Hitz, and today I am interviewing Shawn Hirt for my EDU 101 observation hours interview. So my first question is, what is the most challenging part of your job?
Most challenging part, for easily student motivation, trying to get the students motivated.
Okay, yeah, I can see how that may or may not be difficult, but especially with high school students, I can imagine that would be difficult to encourage them. My second question is, was there something that you felt you were not prepared for coming out of college and entering into your teaching profession?
Botany. It's funny because I couldn't get credit for teaching botany or for taking botany and biology at the same, both. But yet I'm teaching high school biology. I needed to know plants, animals, human body, but yet I couldn't go in depth and find out about plants. So plants, no, I don't know about plants.
That makes sense. Number 3 is, how do you maintain the quality of your teaching in regards to subjects your students may not like or may not enjoy?
Quality? Well, of course we do a lot of activities, which they like. What was the question? How do I maintain the quality of my teaching? And honestly, sometimes don't spend a lot of time on it, because if they don't really like it, we just hit the basics and kind of move on. I mean, of course, not always, but
Okay. Number 4 is, what do you enjoy most in teaching?
I like that it's not the same thing all the time. It's always something different. And this sounds weird, but I like that time goes by fast. It's not one of those jobs where it's like, oh my God, when is 3:30 going to get here? 3:30 comes before you know it, and then the end of the week comes before you know it. And that's good and bad, because then, God, 28 years go by, and it's like, where did that go? Literally.
And you always have different students as well, so it gives you a little bit of variety.
And of course, then like I told you too, I love being off. It's nice to have, I know I'm off at 3:30. If I have to be somewhere at 4, I can be there. I know pretty much, or I know I'm off on the weekend.
So set schedule.
Or I know I'm off on Christmas or whatever.
Okay. The next question is, how much time do you spend outside the classroom on school-related activities?
More lately, simply finding videos, checking out videos, maybe making a little video worksheet or something. More doing that, because there's so much out there, but only a tenth of it is can you use in class?
Yeah.
So just trying to see, is that good? Is that not good? Maybe doing animation sort of things, games. I meant to do that today, that game that I was telling you about. So as I'm watching football this weekend, I'll be doing the little rabbits and wolves natural selection simulation, just to see is this something that we want to do. So stuff like that. Otherwise, that's about it. I said from day one, I don't get paid enough for them to take work home, really, and I don't. And then, of course, when I got a family, I was like, I am doing everything at work. I'm not taking anything home. So, when I'm at work, I work. Literally from 7:45 when I get here until 3:45 when I go out to ride my bike. It's like nonstop. Sometimes at lunch, I might take a nap or whatever for 15 minutes, but that's it. Otherwise it is full on. Copy, plan, grade, teach, whatever.
Okay. So the next question kind of goes along with that one. It is, how much of your own money do you spend every year on your classroom or your students?
Very little. A lot of people, I spend hundreds of dollars or $1,000 on my kids. I don't. That's just me. Again, they don't pay me enough to do that. If they gave me money specifically to do it, I would. But I'm going to do with what they give me.
Okay.
And that's it.
And how do you separate your work from home?
Just like I said, I do work at work and home at home. There was a little poem that we had our daughter memorize. Work while you work, play while you play. One thing each time, that is the way. And all that you do, do with your might. The things done by halves or things done
right. I really like that.
She was like 3 years old, she would be saying that. And, I kind of agree with that. While you're at work, your body, you're here, it's hard to take it home and whatever. If you need to, yeah, you can, but yeah, I don't, and I see the opposite because I see my wife, she's a workaholic and she's constantly working on schoolwork, and it's a drag.
Just a few more. The next one is, what is your level of autonomy in your classroom? Is this more or less than you thought you would have entering into the field, and has this level changed over the years?
Yeah, it's changed. It's funny. You have to build up equity with your principal. Once they know that you're doing a good job, then, they hardly come around. Like Mr. Mason, I never see him. Do you ever see him come in here? Hardly ever. Because he knows what I'm doing. I submit my lesson plans every week, even though I don't have to. He knows my kids are busy all the time. So, I get a lot of autonomy, which is more than I thought I'd get. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. I wish sometimes that it seems like he cared, or they cared a little more. Because a lot of times it's just like, okay, there you go. Yeah, great.
Yeah.
And honestly, I feel a lot of times as long as you don't cause problems for them, they don't really care what you do. Which is good and bad, but whatever.
Okay, the next one is, what was your degree path? What is your opinion on obtaining a higher degree before entering the classroom? I know that you yourself do have a master's, so.
And an EDS.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Because I went to UT. I was going to be a dentist, be an orthodontist.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
I took chemistry and realized I do not want to do this for however many more years. Found out that they really don't make as much as I thought they were, because you got to pay a bunch to get into the profession, buy your equipment and all that. And I was like, I don't really know if I want to do that, go in debt for schooling and all that. I didn't know. So I was like, what do I like to do? Really felt the Lord was leading me into education. I was like, why? There's no way. Like, the last thing that I would have picked would have been teaching. But eventually I was like, okay, I'll do it. So changed into teaching and got a BS in education, and then stayed a year after that, 3 more semesters, and got a master's in curriculum and instruction. Then went and got my first teaching job, teaching in the hood in Chattanooga, and starting 2 weeks after school started, literally in the middle of the projects, which was great, because then everything else was a piece of cake, including coming to Midway. So then came to Midway, was here for 6 years, I guess, and then realized that you could get paid extra if you had your master's plus 15. So I just needed one more class to have master's plus 15, but then that was halfway to an EDS. So then I just needed like 15 more hours for an EDS. So then went on 2 more semesters, whatever. I got my EDS. So 9 years after I got out, I had my EDS, which was great.
Oh, okay. I did not know that you wanted to be, that you were.
Yeah. Well, it's great because a dentist doesn't have to talk to people. That's what I didn't want to do. So I know I'll become a teacher. Great. But I would definitely say, if you're going to plan on staying in education, get another degree. Not just for the pay either, but my wife and I were talking about just the other day. I learned so much just as far as science methods and teaching in my master's class and then in my EDS. I don't know what kind of teacher I'd be if I just had a bachelor's,
Yeah.
It would be bad.
Well, the last question is, some people think it's the most important question, but I know that you've had to deal with parent issues. How do you deal with them, and what's your philosophy on that, I guess?
Just try to document everything. You can never please everybody. You just got to be yourself. Don't worry about it. As long as you're doing a good job, as long as you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, and you have the degree, you're in there with the kids all the time, you should know what's best. Do it. go with it. And if somebody doesn't like it, great. You know, if your principal tells you to change, whatever. But otherwise, whatever. You know, you just go and do it. And, I mean, you have the degree and the experience, and you're there with the kids all the time, and you know, you have their interest in heart. And I mean, as long as you're a good person and trying to do what's best for them, it's good. So.
And then if you would like to add any comments or advice, you may do that now, because I'm done with my questions.
It has all been said. It's all good.
All right. Well, thank you.
All good. Okay.